Junior year, University of Kansas, while I'm on the track team, I had a roommate named Sydney, right? Now, Sydney, every single year, she was top 5 in the nation. I feel like since her freshman year, always going to nationals. And of course, her being my roommate, I got to be around her for longer, understand her mindset, and get better in track. But it was the specific day that changed my track and field career forever and my mindset towards any dream that I'm trying to accomplish. So one day I'm on the indoor track, University of Kansas, and this is like August, literally August. So nowhere near the beginning of the season, but it's the beginning of the off season, right? Before our first practice, I'm sitting down. I remember exactly where I was. And she comes up to me and she's like, "What is your goal for this year?" And I tell her, well, my goal is to make it to nationals. And she flat out says, "You're never making it to nationals," because the people who are going to be at nationals already know they're going to make it. They're thinking about, how can I be number one? And that statement, I like paused for a second. I'm like, yo, she's right. Because she was around those jumpers who were beating me. She was friends with the top athletes in the nation. You know what I'm saying? So when she said that, I'm like, I didn't take it as her trying to disrespect me, her being rude. She was being real. One of the top 5 jumpers in the nation telling me, you're not going to nationals if you're telling me you're trying to get there. So she said, you need to change your mindset to, I am going to nationals. Now it just really matters what place I'm going to get, which is going to be first. And she said, if you're training like you're trying to make it to nationals, that means you're training to barely make it. She said, you need to train better than number one. The only way to become number one in a nation is if you train better than them. You can't do exactly what they do, meaning the same amount of practices, the same amount of effort. You have to put in more effort to get better because you're not there right now. So every single practice, you need to think, what is number one in the nation doing? Is number one in the nation going to slow down during this rep? Is number one in the nation going to complain? Is number one in the nation going to be lazy on their warm-up? Is number one in the nation not going to cool down? They're going to cool down. Is number one in the nation not going to take an ice bath or maybe even a hot bath? They're probably going to do both. Is number one in the nation going to go to the trainer? Yes, multiple times, before practice, during practice, after practice. Is number one in the nation going to eat bad? No, they're not. So you have to think every decision you make, it needs to be better than number one in the nation if you're going to become number one in the nation. That conversation alone changed my whole life. Every single practice, the only thing that I thought every rep that I did was better than number one in the nation. Better than number one in the nation. When I went home and I was deciding, should I go to a party? You know what I'm saying? Should I be with my friends? Should I do this and that? I decided, what would number one in the nation do? They would stay home. See, I'd rather party at nationals. Most of y'all don't know there's a party at nationals because y'all never been there. I would rather party at nationals than party at my university. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a different mindset. That's why there's only 12 people who become All-American at nationals for a specific event, specifically triple jump and long jump, what I did. It's only 12. And those 12 people, it's a big difference between top 12 and top 45. It's what they know. It's not just how hard they train. It's what they know and how much they're willing to sacrifice in order to make changes. How serious are you taking your dreams? I took my dreams very serious that year. And that year I got 5th place. 5th place at indoor nationals. Let me tell you something. I went from number 48 in the nation to number 12 to number 5 in 6 to 8 months, literally. Now, how did I get there? Every decision I made, I asked, what would number 1 in the nation do? Not only did I get 5th place at indoor nationals, I got 5th place at outdoor nationals. Then my senior year, I became number 1 in the nation. Now, when you're asking, how do I become number 1 in the nation? Ask yourself, would number 1 in the nation do what you're doing before practice, during practice, and after practice, or would they take it more serious? I bet you they would take it more serious. And even if you become number 1 in the nation or are right now, you could be doing better. Let's not play no games, all right? Let's be serious. More serious than your mother, more serious than your father. Take accountability for your actions. What would number 1 in the nation do?